In 1985, Stephen Hawking lost the ability to speak naturally after undergoing a life-saving tracheostomy. As a result of a myotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease or motor neuron disease, his speech was slurred and his movement was impaired. In the beginning, he communicated by raising his eyebrows when someone pointed at the right letter on a spelling card. That changed when married couple, Walter and Ginger Wolters, founders of Words Plus, donated a communication system called the Equalizer. It was originally developed for Ginger's ALS-affected mother, Lucille Evans. Hawking selected what he wanted to communicate from a list of common phrases displayed on the computer screen. His messages were processed by a speech synthesizer called the Speech Plus Call Text 5010. Its male voice had an American accent. The accent of Dennis H. Klatt. The man behind the voice. Since the 1960s, researcher Dennis Klatt had been working on speech synthesis at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He created an algorithm known as MyTalk or Klatt Talk. Hours of recordings of himself, his wife, and his daughter were used to create the voices of Perfect Paul, Beautiful Betty, and Kit the Kid. Klatt manually designed his speech synthesis algorithm. He developed rules to sculpt computer-generated sounds into speech-like sounds based on the characteristics of his own voice. This method was revolutionary at the time. They were first released in 1984 as part of the DE-Talk speech synthesizer. However, while working on technology that would give Stephen Hawking a voice, Dennis Klatt was losing his own. Thyroid cancer had affected his vocal cords, and he spoke with a hoarse and raspy voice in the last decade of his life, before losing the ability to speak altogether. He died in 1988. But his voice lived on. Even when upgrades were offered, Professor Hawking continued to use the Speech Plus Call Text 5010 until his death in 2018. He was given better and more natural-sounding voice options, including one that was altered to have a British accent like his. In fact, his team went to tremendous efforts to recreate Perfect Paul when he needed a new synthesizer, 2 decades after Speech Plus had gone out of business. I keep it because I have not heard a voice I like better and because I have identified with it, Hawking said in 2006. Even though many would consider Stephen Hawking's artificial voice to sound robotic, he was nevertheless able to convey even the most difficult concepts. And he didn't let it stop him from talking either. Thanks to Dennis Klatt, Hawking's voice became one of the most famous and recognizable in the world.